Communicating with your teams can be compared to learning a new strategy with precision. Okay, going to repeat that one more time. Communicating with your teams can be compared to learning a new strategy with precision. So what am I talking about? Let's go to the title for a sec. How Forsaken Business Owners Can Establish an at least 150% better connection with their teams. So please notice, I didn't just mention communication, I said connection. Of course, one is important to the other. So what are we talking about? Well, teenagers, let's start with that, are a special kind of breed. They have this age where they need to stand up against everyone and everything. They have to learn how to behave themselves in the big world later on. And unfortunately, when you are a parent, then you are the one they have to retaliate against, because you are the one that's they are testing their boundaries on you. So you have to tell them this is good and this cannot be done. But it does make it more difficult to communicate with your teenagers. Of course, they're busy with everything you can imagine. We're talking about hormones, we're talking about having to go to school, having to choose what direction they want to go on later on in life. And just between you and me, I think that's sheer impossible at that age. But then again, it's a good start, I suppose. So there are so many things that's going on in their minds. They're experimenting on all sorts of fronts we don't want to know about, fronts we do not agree with. Think about smoking and drinking. And of course, that is forbidden. But yeah, there's one thing between being forbidden and there's another thing as in, well, maybe they should do it under supervision, or they're going to do it where we can see it anyway, but we do smell their clothes. Anyway, so communicating with your teams is something which is really hard because they are usually very withdrawn because of everything they're going through and because of everything they have to do and learn right at that moment. So you might get a yes, you might get a no, you might get a anything but a really good answer. And if you're in luck, no such thing, and they are very polite and very forthcoming. But again, usually you need to drag out of your teen what it is you want, and if they have actually heard you. So yeah, that could be part of a really big challenge. So now let's go to the part where I'm talking about forsaken business owners. And well, if you resonated with this title, then you probably might have an inkling what I'm talking about. So forsaken, basically left alone on your own. They don't see you. They don't seem to care. They do care, but they don't seem to care. And especially in this day and age, when we are dealing with parents who are divorced or on the verge of divorcing, wow, that's difficult, because how much do they see you? What is the other one telling them about you? And that can be conflicting, frustrating, because kids do have a sense of protecting their parents. As in, they feel the need to choose sides when they feel like one of the parents has been wronged. Of course, it all depends on who they are talking to and what they are saying, because you can influence them very, very easily. And that's going to be hard. So, forsaken business owners. We're not only talking about you being left on your own and not being cared for at the surface, again, at the surface, but this is also about how do you behave as a business owner. Well, chances are that while the kids were growing up, you felt the need to be working on your business. I mean, let's face it, we don't have a 9-to-5 job. We basically can choose whenever we want to work. And I don't know about you, but I'm the kind of person who likes to work when it's quiet. No phone calls, no people disturbing me, all that stuff. So no distractions. And when do you do it? And what about when you are working on a project and you really want to finish it? So it's not that uncommon for business owners to be working, and when the kids are eating, they are still working because kids need to go to bed in time. And then when the kids are sleeping, that's when they come home and they start eating with their spouse. The better option would, of course, be that they tuck in the kids, more preferably eat with the kids. But those things are difficult, and especially when the kids are young, it's already a hard struggle between parents. What is one going to do? What's the other one going to do? What if the kid can't sleep? I mean, both of them are usually very tired, and well, basically the time between parents, the time that they spend with one another is usually not that much. So we are talking about teenagers. So the question is, what have you been doing since they're little, and how much have you been present when they are growing up? And that's probably what makes all of this very hard, because you have to be present in order for them to accept your authority. And then there's getting to know your team, and then on top of it, adding that they are a teenager, with all those raging hormones and things going on in their mind. So how are you going to deal with this? And more importantly, what kind of example are you setting? So I am making this comparison between when you want to learn how to create a better connection with your team, especially when there hasn't been one before, but also considering new circumstances, different way of thinking, they're developing on all forms, on all levels. It's like learning a new strategy with precision. And hey, I know for a fact that when you are a business owner, that you know about strategies, because otherwise you wouldn't be running a business. And more importantly, you probably have figured out a thing or two or more with precision in order to figure out how to run that business, what you were going to do, what you want to tweak. There are so many things that you need to do in order to run a successful business, that I dare say that if you can run that business with precision, knowing what you need to do, you can also make that connection between the teams and you happen and improve. It's all about how much time are you willing to spend on your kids. And that's something that I really want to address for a second, because we are the ones who are responsible for the next generation. What are we telling them? What are we teaching them? How much time are we spending with them? And not just, when we are talking about quality time, it's not about being present, but actually by doing something, getting to learn them, getting to understand them, getting them to understand more of the world, what's going on. So it's about giving them something they understand. A lot of business owners, of course, teach them about business life. But how about something other than business life? How about real life? How about how to love one another? How to be in a respectful relationship? What about boys and girls? And so all these things, they are things that you want and need to consider. And then just for a sec, I want to include schools. So some people are homeschooling, some people are sending their kids to school. So what do we expect the schools to do? And what do we do ourselves when it comes to guiding our teenagers towards adolescence and beyond, so they become these magnificent parents and adults themselves? Well, we can be role models if we take the time to connect with them. And like I said, it's like learning a new strategy with precision for your business. So don't tell me you can't do it, because I know you can do it. And if you spend the time, you'll be surprised. You'll be amazed at what you can achieve. So now go do it. And if you really don't have a clue what you're talking about, and of course that's possible. I mean, like I said at the beginning, it's like a whole new language when it comes to teens. Then reach out to me and we can help you.